Thanks. Yeah. Sorry. I couldn't I'm good. You guys want to find something to do that without going? Yeah, no, nice to finally meet you. Thank you.
Please feel free to take it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
So you're going to be playing.
Very kind of you guys.
We have to make you don't want to break out your own. Okay.
Excited to see it?
Nope, it's graduating. I guess no one's like. Yep, Lauren, do you have those Wi-Fi cards? Awesome. Put the Wi-Fi there, even if they're we're learning development over at so we actually work with the building and they use one of their other simulations. So we have a chance to here, we don't have any takers for that seat right really? We don't have anybody so have you been able to do yeah, you don't get like I've never played it.
Yeah, this is about as good a situation as you can have.
Unfortunately, you get no
Where's the other one?
Oh, just one. Yeah. So I was finding a project to get there.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably it's weird, right? But it's so No, I'm with you. I don't believe you at all.
You're not.
Yeah, so that's what
With Aaron.
okay, well, I guess it's Reach out to absolutely, that's what encouraged me.
Well, hey, it's a fun place.
Yeah.
If you ever have business, we're always here.
We're just waiting for Capital Factory to give us the go, and then we'll get started.
She's like, do you guys think one of the first questions I asked was let's math here.
So I think we could get any considering this more for like
Let's talk about this after. It's really
Make us look like a lot more fun. I'm gonna go sit in the back.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started because every minute's precious here. I know we only have you guys for 45 minutes. So welcome and thank you for coming. We're so excited for you guys to be here. Did everybody get a beverage to enjoy the next 45 minutes? And if you didn't, please feel free to get up and help yourself. We are Abilitie. We are a 15-year-old simulation-based learning company based here out of Austin, Texas. And we have been at Capital Factory for 4 years as a part of their organization. And we've got a few members of the team here in the room. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm Fred Talley-Foos. I'm the marketing communications coordinator at Abilitie.
Hi, I'm Lauren O'Neill. I'm the sales director here at Abilitie.
And I'm Alex Wayleather. I do client experience.
Great, and I'm Megan Finale. I'm the Vice President of Operations here, and we are a lean and mean team who deploy globally all over the world. A few of our public clients that you might know all around the world. Last year we delivered in over 26 different countries. We've got 2 people and 1 person in Switzerland at the current moment, 1 person in Germany. So we are consistently delivering on all continents. And we've got 3 simulations. First is going to be Management Challenge, which we're going to talk about today. The second one is Business Challenge, which focuses on business acumen and financial acumen. The third one being Leadership Skills, Cross-Functional Leadership with Executive Challenge. All of these are team-based, online-run simulations where you're running your own company, competing against your peers that are also playing in the room, learning the implications of your decisions in a competitive, dynamic environment. All of these simulations have won awards. Just recently, the top Learning and Development Award in Europe called the EFMD. Our marketing person is all over marketing that, so I'm just making sure I'm saying it right. So we're really proud of that and won that in conjunction with Nokia Siemens Network, if you know them, Nokia. So with that being said, let's actually get into playing the sim today, and we're going to focus on Management Challenge. And if you read the description of this particular section, it was all about how do you drive culture from the inside out. As smaller organizations, we can put a tap of beer, we can put a ping pong table, but really culture's driven by internally from the organization, from how people interact, from how we treat one another, and the environment we create. And so Management Challenge is a simulation that allows the participants to practice managing a team of 6 individuals, drive their motivators and engagement while balancing the need to get the work done to drive the value of the organization. And you're going to get to experience that today when we play it a little bit later. But what we really want to focus on is a key component to management challenge, and that is engaging motivators and helping understand what really interests and drives engagement of employees. So I'm going to put this list up on the board. Can everybody read the list on the board? So I'd love for you to read through all of them and write down what you think are the top 2 out of this list. Sorry. The top 2 out of this list that you think drives the most motivation for people that you work with. So what are the top 2 things out of this list that drive motivation for the people you work with? Let you guys think through that. Okay, everybody got a good idea of what you think the top 2 are? All right. Great. Alex, what's your number 1, do you think?
Well, they're all really good. I would have to say being part of an important initiative.
Being part of an important initiative. How about, what do you think your favorite, what do you think the top 2 are? Yeah.
So my guesses were being part of an important initiative and interesting work.
And interesting work. Did anybody have different ones? Yeah? Aaron, what'd you have?
Full appreciation of work well done and promotion within company.
Promotion within company? What about others? What'd you have?
Well, I was going to say full appreciation of work well done and a good work environment.
Good work environment? Same? Okay, so this was an actual assessment that was done, a study that was done 3 times over 50 years. The first time in 1950, and they used these 10 categories to determine what motivates people at work. It was done again in the early 1980s and for the last time in 2004. So 3 times, same 10 attributes over 50 years. The audience was a mixture of education levels, a mixture of industries. Most were entry level, but not at the very level. There was both white collar and blue collar if you were to assign jobs in that manner. So it represented a wide variety. In 1950, it was just a couple years after World War II ended, they're going to fall in this exact order as you see them. So full appreciation, work well done, being part of apportioned initiatives, and sympathetic help on personal issues were the top 3 in 1950. Then they do it again in 1980 with the same type of audience. What changes is that sympathetic help on personal issues drops to the very bottom. However, interesting work within the company becomes number 1. So fast forward again 30 years later to the early 2000s, and they see the same exact thing that they saw in the early 80s. Interesting work is number 1. Number 2 and number 3 are full appreciation of work well done and being central, being a part of important initiatives. So numbers 1, 2, and 3, and many of you had these as yours, and you might have mixed in some of the other ones. In case you were wondering, job security and a good salary remained number 4 and 5, so they stayed heartily in the middle. And then number 6 being promotion within the company. So it went interesting work, full appreciation, being central, then security, salary, and promotion. So that's how it fell in 2004. Now, managers were asked every time in 1950 and the early 80s and in 2004, what motivates your people the most? And all 3 times, even though this study was a public study, they got it wrong. All 3 times. And if you had to guess, you might have guessed that they guessed job security, they suggested a good salary, and they suggested promotion within the company. So there's extrinsic motivators and intrinsic motivators. Have you guys heard of the difference between those 2 before? You might have read Daniel Pink's Drive. It talks a lot about intrinsic. Intrinsic are what motivates us internally as human beings and drives us inside. Extrinsic is when we're performing to an external carrot, the salary, the promotion, or the job security. Intrinsic is when we want to be proud of ourselves, when we want to be appreciated, we want to be a part of important initiatives, and we want to do interesting work. So what it tells us is over time, the more we can light the fire within of our employees, we're going to get more done than if we simply give them an external carrot to work towards. So with this information, we at Abilitie have developed a simulation to help you practice how to drive those intrinsic motivators with your employees. And with that, we created what we call the 9 motivators. These are based off of a lot of different theories. Daniel Pink's Drive, many of you nodded your head when you read that. You'll see mastery, autonomy, and purpose are also there. So those are going to be 3 intrinsic, and then you've also got 6 that were developed off of Hirschberg's Heisman theory as well as some other work. But that's not important where it comes from. What is important is what are they? So I'm going to talk to them at a very high level, and then I'm going to have you do a quick exercise. So first you'll see security at the very top. These are the employees that are motivated by the idea that every day when they come to work, they're going to leave with a job. They're the people who are probably taking care of elderly parents, young kids, and knowing that they don't have to worry about that on top of everything else they've got on their plate, that is secure, is going to keep them working really hard for you. So that's going to be security. Companionship is your employees that drive off of knowing you at a deeper level. So I have this employee who loves telling me everything about her weekend and wants to know everything about my weekend. So I purposefully don't come in until noon on Mondays because I know I'm not only going to answer what I ate that weekend, but where did I eat it, how much salt did I put on my food, did I use the salad fork or the regular fork, and did I put sweet and low in my iced tea or did I just drink it normal, but how many ice cubes were in it. She loves that level of detail. And so companionship is an intensive motivator for her. Achievement is someone who wants to achieve, they want to accomplish goals. They don't need recognition for it, which is another one. So recognition is when I tell you, great job, and you receive that recognition at whatever level you need to. Is it public? Is it private? Is it a gift? Is it a pat on the back? Achievement is simply the idea of being able to check that box. You might be a task-oriented individual. You might be someone who just needs to know that they've achieved it. We've got a salesperson on our team that sometimes doesn't even tell us when she closes deals because of the fact that achievement is the main thing. She's proud, she self-high-fives herself, and then she moves on. And sometimes we have to go and find out about ourselves. So achievement and recognition are different in that the completion of the task is enough, and then others recognizing you for the completion of that task is what motivates differently. Possession are those individuals that want to be the owner of something. I always envision, if you guys are Office Space fans, our favorite character with the red stapler. He needed to own that red stapler. These are the people who want to own the knowledge on your project management tool. Or maybe they want to be the experts on a specific type of code and they want you to come to them. So that's going to be possession because they're motivated by the fact that they are the expert in that particular arena and everyone has to come to them. Position or status is just what it sounds like. These are the individuals where titles are very important. Recognition of giving them their own parking spot with their name on it is going to drive them forward more than you giving them a giant bonus because everybody knows that they are a certain position or status within the company. And then you've got the 3, mastery, autonomy, and purpose. And these are defined by Daniel Pink and a lot of research that came out of the University of Rochester. Mastery are those individuals who are driven by the need to be the best at what they do. It's those individuals who study instruments on the weekends, not because they're paid to do it. They might just play locally with a volunteer organization, symphony, but they want to learn it. Autonomy are those individuals who are driven to work by themselves. They don't want you over their shoulder. They want the ability to make their own decisions and thrive within their own space. Last but not least is purpose, which is quickly floating to the top to be a huge driver for especially millennials. And it's why a lot of organizations are also gaining nonprofit arms and giving back as they drive a profit because they understand the overall goal of those organizations. So with that, I've just explained a lot of them. I'd love for you to talk with your partner and tell your partner what you think your top 2 motivators are. I'll tell you my 2 are recognition and achievement. I love to be recognized. I'm not afraid to say it. It's one of those things that when my boss shoots me a quick email just to say thanks and congrats, It drives me so much harder to work so much harder. I can't explain it. It just is what it is. And if I'd be saying it was anything else, I'd be lying to you. Achievement, because I am an ultimate task lister. I will literally finish a task, and if it's not on my list, I will write it down to be able to cross it off my list because I want that sense of achievement. And I know some of you are laughing because you're the exact same way. So with that being said, I would love for you to talk to your partner, take 2 or 3 minutes, and tell your partner what your top 2 motivators are for yourself.
Friends to your partner.
I didn't do this before, so it's my first time.
Four different motivators.
Motivates the job. Would you say it's one of your achievements from I'm
definitely recognition top. And then I feel like achievement or purpose. I love a good public like just but I also am very much sympathize with something that I there are some things that really don't work like at this point in my life,
If you haven't switched yet, go ahead and switch so your partner has time to share as well.
Yeah, I think that's which also
Go ahead and start to finish up your conversations, and we're going to pull it back to the front.
very relevant to how many
And then once you have that
like either just do presentation and everyone wants to that was really try
All right. So great. It sounds like you guys had some great conversations around it. Starting to know yourself is very important. But where we really want to drive understanding, and granted, you're getting a 45-minute taste of our 8-hour experience with Management Challenge. And in the 8 hours, we would help you explore what you think those motivators are with your top employees as well as your whole team. And then what we do is in the simulation, we're going to help you practice speaking into those motivators. How do you align what you know motivates and engages your employees to how you address them about different topics, how you assign them work, how you work with them to do what's best for the company and drive that value. So that's what we do throughout the entire 8-hour experience. So now as you've talked through knowing what your top 2 are, I encourage you to take a few minutes after this and think through what your top employees' motivators are. And if you don't have employees, how about the individuals you have to work with most closely on the most often basis that you must influence, manage through influence, get done what you need to get done. And using what motivates them, how do you alter that conversation to drive it towards getting what you need to get done, but also winning, allowing them to win because it motivates and speaks into what interests them. So with that, you guys ready to play the sim?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to explain the simulation here. I'm going to give you some outline context to what we're going to do. Then the first round of the sim, I'm going to instruct you on what to click so you guys get a feel for how you interact with the sim mechanics. Then we're gonna play a second round, and you're gonna do a free-for-all, and you're gonna drive whatever strategy you want to drive forward, and then we'll see who the winner is at the end of 2 months. If you want to stick around a little bit longer, we'd be happy to play a third, but we're trying to get you out of here on time so you can make it to your last session of the day. So with that, welcome to Gruboo. Gruboo is an exciting new startup based here out of Capital Factory, and we have assembled an incredible team of individuals for you to manage to bring this new technology to light. However, we are not happy with the previous management team. The previous management team did not work out. One manager was way too task-oriented. They were so focused on the task that it drove their individuals crazy, and their engagement was in the dirt because all they were focused on was getting the work done. We had another manager who over-indexed on being liked, so all they cared about was keeping the employees happy at the detriment of getting the work done. We're looking for you two as a team to come together as two managers and find the right balance between engaging your employees and delivering the results and getting the job done. You'll have 6 employees that you'll be interacting with today. Each of you will play a role. Don't be distracted by the senior title. It's just the way we differentiate the two of you. You're both going to have the same abilities within the sim. The senior manager will be managing Janet, Mary, and Karen. The manager will be managing Jim, Patrick, and Tamika. So let's get to know your 6 employees really quickly. First is Jim. He's 26 years old and hungry to prove he knows what he's doing.
I intend to be an important person in this company someday, and the only way that's going to happen is if the higher-ups see all the good work I'm doing.
Next is Patrick Ma. He's on the sunset to retirement and eager to get out.
I've forgotten more about how this company does business than most of my colleagues ever will know.
Next is Tamika. She's a high performer and does excellently.
There's nothing I like better than being in a room with my coworkers, brainstorming a problem and feeling those creative juices kicking in.
Next is Karen. She's back after raising her family to a second career.
I'm excited to get back to work. I wanted to make sure I found the right situation for me, not just any old job.
Next is Mary. She really prefers to work by herself.
I haven't been here as long as some others, and I tend to keep to myself, professionally speaking.
Last but not least is Janet. She's a hands-on learner.
There are only so many things that I have control over, and right now the only thing I can really control is the quality of my work.
You're going to get to know these individuals as you go through the sim today, and in the 8-hour experience you would have a conversation with all of these employees, practicing giving feedback, coaching, career pathing. Today, if we have time at the end, I'll demo that conversation tool because it's actually having a conversation with the avatar on the computer. So it's almost like you're Skyping with the individual and your partner is the wizard behind the curtain, clicking buttons to allow that avatar to respond to exactly what you said so that you can practice that conversation. We'll show you at the very end. We won't have time to do that ourselves. Now, how do you win the simulation? Because that's really the point of sims. They're competitive and fun. Well, first you've got to get as much done as possible. And how you get as much done as possible is by completing tasks. You're completing projects just like you do at work. Each task is going to have a skill set requirement. You can see here you need 8 functional skills and 6 communication skills. Each of your employees will have set skills and you'll try to match those skills to the requirements of the task. I'll share a little bit more about that with you later. And then you'll earn a certain number of points. The more points you have, the more tasks you've done, the more you've delivered the results. But you've also got to use your people to get stuff done. And your people are only as good as you empower them to be. So just as important as it is to get things done, it's just as important to empower your people. Now, you're going to put your people directly on the tasks. And then you also have support tokens that you can put on the task. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later and explain that to you. What you need to know about the tasks is there's 4 different types. There's simple. Think of simple tasks, for example, as something that's not hard to do, it can just be bothersome. So for example, Sweet Fred orders us lunch every Monday for our team lunch. Is it difficult to choose a restaurant and send out the menu? Absolutely not, but it takes time and it's kind of monotonous. So that's a simple task. Routine. Routine is something that drives value for the company but isn't fun to do. My example is expense reports. I hate expense reports, but it's an important routine task. So you can think of that for routine. High visibility is a task that's going to get them awareness from upper management. They're going to be able to show off what they're capable of doing. And collaborative allows them to work with lots of their peers. Each of your employees have unique interests and engagement points and personalities. We've mapped these 6 individuals to all types of different assessments, personality assessments. So you saw our question back there. We've got our 6 characters mapped to DISC. We've got our 6 characters mapped to MBTI. But you tell us what you use and we'll tell you how these 6 individuals map to it so we can speak the language of your organization and how you talk to personalities. Now with that being said, because they each have unique personalities, they each feel different ways about how they're mapped to different types of tasks. So it's your job to figure out as a manager, how do I drive engagement by mapping their interests to the right type of task? Simultaneously, there's times in the business where you just have to get the work done. So you might have to get the work done at the detriment of their engagement, and you have to work and balance that as a manager, just like in the real world. Each employee has different skill sets and can be assigned to 1 task per month. Now, you've also got an engagement meter for each of your employees. Don't we all wish that our employees had a red to green engagement meter on their foreheads? So in the sim, you can actually see in real time the impact your actions make on the engagement level of those employees. As soon as the employee's engagement drops below 20, they're actively disengaged, and just like the research shows us in the US, employees actually are less productive the less engaged they are, and the simulation will mimic that. Now, oppositely, the more engaged that your employees are, so when they go over 50, they're going to give more skills, just like in the real world. The more engaged we are, the more productive we are. Now, like I mentioned support tokens earlier, just like in the real world, all of us as managers have very little discretionary time that we want to give to our people. And so the support tokens offer those small tidbits of extra time that you have at the end of every month. So you can do 3 things with your support tokens. 1, you can apply yourself directly to the task. So instead of delegating the task to your employees, you roll up your sleeves to get the task done. Second, you can coach your employees and permanently increase their skill sets. Oops. Third, you can recognize your employees. And when you recognize your employees, it's going to boost their engagement, but only temporarily. Because just like in the real world, recognition is great, but it's not going to last forever. So the recognition engagement is going to boost for that round, but won't stay. Your coaching will boost permanently, but it could be unsuccessful. Think of the spinner wheel that you're pretty familiar with on board games. You're going to experience that within the sim because sometimes our coaching conversations aren't as effective as we wish they would be and they're not successful. So lots of elements of real world here as you play through here. So we're about to have you log into the simulation. When we do, your job is going to be to activate a task, allocate your employees, decide how you're going to use your support tokens, and collaborate with your teammate. All of us here with Abilitie are going to be floating around the room to help you out. In the first round, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do so you know what to click on in the sim. In the second round, you're going to be off to the races to choose for yourself. Everybody ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, you're right where you should be. Remember, we normally do this in 8 hours, and y'all are taking it in 45, so you're doing great. So if you haven't already, you're going to want to navigate to this website. Is everybody already at this website? Yes. All right, great. So you're going to want to input the login credentials that Abilitie supplied you. It would have been player 1B or player 1C. Is everybody in the sim? Okay. Go ahead and read through that tour that popped up and click through next. If you haven't, you're welcome to do that. You'll notice you also have an inbox in your simulation interface. That's how your 6 employees will be communicating with you throughout the game to let you know what's coming up next, what you might talk to them about, and how you might best effectively engage them throughout the sim. All right. So once you're done with that tour, and I'll let you guys know there's a couple more pop-ups going through. So I'm gonna tell you, so who are my managers in the room? And you'll know if it says at the top of the purple bar at the top of your screen, it says manager. Who are my managers? All right, great. And who are my senior managers? All right, okay, sounds like everybody knows who they are. So, senior managers, on the right hand side of your screen, click on task list, find expansion coordination, and click activate. And let us know if you have any trouble with that. The Ability team is floating to help you out.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Oh, I didn't start the quarter, that's why.
Yeah, is that?
Thanks,
Yeah,
Alex.
that as soon as she starts it.
Got a little over eager there, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, now your screen should have lit up, and now you should be able to click the task type. Task pool. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
What are we selecting out of task pool? Is there anything specific in here we're supposed to select?
Expansion coordination.
Coordination. All right.
Okay, got it.
Business.
Yeah, so. Is that just how it is?
So in task pool, you are going to click expansion coordination. Did everybody get that? And click activate. Give me a thumbs up when you've activated expansion coordination. All right. Is that one right? All right. So is everybody good on activating expansion coordination? Okay. Next step. If you are the manager, find Tamika and Jim and drag their faces over to the active task. If you are the senior manager, drag Karen over to the active task. And let us know if you have any trouble doing that.
Okay.
I have a Karen.
Yeah,
So
you
you got
are
Jim.
There you go. There you go.
Because I had a
And
jump.
then you'll want to add.
So three altogether.
So you'll notice your bar,
determined
your
with that.
skills bar requirements filling up, and that's because you've added your employees. Now, as you're playing this sim, you're going to want to be thinking through what employees will most enjoy working on the expansion coordination task based on the type of task it is. Then, is everybody good on applying those 3 employees? Now let's apply our support tokens. Remember, our support tokens represent the extra time we have. Each of you have 2. So, senior manager, assign a token to the expansion coordination task. So drag that support token directly over to the task. This is the equivalent of you rolling up your sleeves and working on it yourself. So instead of delegating, you're doing it yourself. And apply it to functional skills. So everybody got that? So right to add
Yeah, onto that little box.
Got it? Perfect. If you're the manager, find Jim on the left-hand side and use your support token to recognize him. So you're going to drag that token down to the bottom to recognize Jim. And if you're the senior manager, use your token to coach Mary.
Mary?
Yep. I would encourage you to coach Mary, but you can also coach Tamika.
It should be.
No, that's okay if she's not in the task. You can coach and recognize people who aren't directly working on the task because you're going to work with them.
Does it matter if we coach them functionally or communication based?
So you're going to decide that throughout the game on what you think the employee needs. I'm going to let you choose that for this round.
Coach or communication?
So how do you go to
That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, the coaching failed. So you are trying to coach him. Alright. Yeah, so what do you want to do? You want to recognize? Just like that. Jim has something to say. So you might have noticed Mary and Jim have some feedback for you. And they might also impact their engagement, so you can read through that.
Oh.
If you haven't yet, you should have fulfilled the skill requirements for the task. So one of you can go ahead and submit the task, and then see if your employees have anything to say about working on expansion coordination. You might see some pop-ups pop up.
Karen was demotivated
Success, yay.
due to our recent projects and initiatives.
Alright. Cool, we'll see how it goes. So it didn't work.
All right.
The tweak is pretty pumped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Really rewarding.
I think in real life, you have to attach some more than
She just wanted to do.
I
She just wanted to be part of the team. Yeah.
Everyone's gonna love what you
Karen did not like that job.
All right. So how'd everyone do in their first practice month?
Got some wins.
All right. Good. So here's, as a quick reminder to all of you, so how you win the simulation is first you have to deliver the results. And how you do that is by earning points through the tasks, which you guys just did by completing expansion coordination. Second is you need to grow the capabilities of your people. And you do that through growing skill sets and through driving engagement. At the end of the 9 months of the sim, which will be 2 months in here, we're going to look at what we would call a balanced scorecard. Has anybody ever heard of management effectiveness surveys or whatnot? In a lot of corporations, at the end of every year, managers are measured on their effectiveness based on the engagement levels of their teams, how their team performed in that year and met goals. And so we mimic that within the sim by creating an algorithm that perfectly balances out the results you were able to drive with your points, the engagement level of your people, and the skill sets of your people. So at the end, the winner is determined by the team that was best able to balance all three of those. So let's see how well you guys are at doing this. So I'm going to end this first round, and then I'm going to start a new round, and it's up to you on what task you want to work on and how you're going to execute it, and we are here to support you with that. So with that, I'm going to end the first month. I'm going to start the second month, and you guys are off to the races.
Right.
So feel free to choose any task you want to accomplish, assign your people, all 6 of them. You can coach, you can recognize, and we're here to help you out.
Do you have any task preference? Megan, what do the letters next to the task?
So the letters next to the task names align with those task categories. So simple, routine,
Okay,
high visibility.
Okay, do you have any preference on what task we do? Business planning, community outreach, market launch, process Okay. Bruce's favorite. Alright, so I'll activate it.
Like I have enough.
So it needs
process
9 functional skills and 13 communication skills. Very different.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Patrick's not
He's cynical and disengaged currently.
I know, but I think it's pretty good.
What do you think?
Can you assign it? Is it should be like a best practice? Oh, he's more engaged. Right? Okay. So 9 functional skills.
He had 3 skills, so.
12 skill total.
I guess we're gonna
For you, 7 functional communication. On mine, this is different for each manager. Mine is 9,
Oh, I don't know that I should assign Karen. She has good communication skills, but apparently she and Patrick have a hard So you guys
yeah. Maybe Janet.
I'll let Janet. She's experienced.
We have to add a third employee.
And then I can,
I have Karen and Mary, but Karen is only but she likes to work by herself.
Feel free to read your emails as well. Use those support tokens to coach and recognize your people.
We need to, we can have skill, right? So let's give these lots of more tokens, shield out the different people.
Yeah, so like we had the ability to like getting to do, let's take her out
Projects and really get
put
herself out there.
Tika back in there.
It kind of explains each of the characters.
Mika's got better communication.
5 more minutes, and then we're gonna end the round. 5 more minutes.
We should
Have basically.
so we have all of our skills needed.
Okay, so then we still have support tokens.
And let's do so.
Yes, you'll drag her.
Yeah. So you want to do, we've already got communication.
Oh,
I had a successful coaching.
I got.
The rest to 41.
Oh, that's exciting. Ooh, did Patrick not appreciate his recognition?
I didn't, but his motivation went up.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of grateful.
Patrick's so grateful.
So we'll do, so let's functional side.
Alright.
I think that's.
We earned 42.
2 more minutes. 2 more minutes till we end the round.
Okay. So do you only do one task?
I'd like to see that high five.
Coach Karen. Oh, that's here. We already have Jen. 3 more. We could use a support. Broke it again. Yeah.
Alright, Patrick, I need to
You
share my
have
knowledge with others.
so many more notifications than I do. You're such a better manager. You're getting so much more feedback from your employees.
I told him I need to hear things that always
Fear is the motivator for my team.
All right. If you haven't hit submit yet, go ahead and hit submit.
It's quite a challenge.
You only do one task a month. You can do
Here you go, grab your person.
So how, we've tried to set
All right.
second task, we started.
Did you not have enough skills, Aaron?
Yeah, I think
You got short on
Oh, you have to
skills?
fill the bar.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna end the round.
All right.
You gotta do better on this communication.
All right, month 2 has ended, and let's see who our winners are. In first place, Team 5. Who's Team 5? At the top of your screen in the purple bar. All right, in the back corner. Great job, guys. So Team 5 got first place, Team 4 in second, and Team 7 in third. So great job. And so what you'll find with the winner at the end of the 9-month experience, we'll typically ask the winning team to share. It's not the same as in the first round. So in the first quarter, the first 3 rounds, we'll ask the teams, how are you winning? And that's because they're probably over-indexing on delivering results and driving the points and getting the most points possible. By the end of the day, the team that actually wins typically is the team that invested a lot in their people, and then by the time they've gotten to the last round of the sim, they've balanced out and been able to execute more on the results because their people were able to deliver more because they invested in them early. And that's really what we want the key takeaway to be. So the key to management challenge is your 6 employees, getting to know them on an individual basis. What are their motivators? What are their personality profiles? What interests them? What drives them forward? And then you'll have conversations with them. So we're at the end of the time at 45 after, but I'd love to demo the conversation tool for those of you who are interested in sticking around and seeing it. So I'm going to do that now, but if you need to get up and leave, thank you so much for being here. And please grab a beer on your way out. Being said, let me show you a little bit of the conversation tool. So like I mentioned, you are playing as a team, and you're gonna have a conversation with the computer as though you're Skyping with your employee. And Tamika is gonna say this to the manager.
Hi boss, we're here to talk about my performance, right? Let's get started.
Well, I as the manager have received emails, some of those you may have read. And the emails I received was her performance review, where she was really strong, where opportunity areas were. I also received an email of her 360 results and how highly her colleagues think of her. But I also received a note from upper management saying they really want her to consider being a manager. So I'm going into this conversation to talk to her about her performance as well as becoming a manager. So I might say, Tamika, and I'm talking to the video screen, Tamika, it's so great to get to know you, to chat with you today. The purpose of today's conversation is to talk through your performance and what an exceptional job you're doing. I want you to know how highly your colleagues think of you based on your 360 results. Now, my partner Alex is looking on his computer, and I don't see this as the person having the conversation. He's going to go into his computer and he's going to choose an option. I made a statement about the purpose of this conversation, but I also made a statement positive about her 360 feedback. So Alex would click this, and then Tamika's going to respond based on what I just said.
That's a relief to hear. I'm glad you think I'm doing well on the balance. I know there's room for improvement, but it's gratifying to hear that you've taken note of my performance.
Absolutely, Tamika. And you know, because of your really strong performance, we've pinpointed you to potentially become a manager here. Are you interested in becoming a manager? So Alex, hearing what I said, is going to click the translate button, and then he's going to choose the option asked about becoming a manager. And Tamika will respond.
I don't know that I'm very excited about being a manager. Don't get me wrong, I really appreciate being considered for this, but I just don't know if that's really a position I'd enjoy or be good at. If you're intent on finding a new role for me, is there anything else we could explore?
Now here comes the aha moment in all of the video conversations, is that your individuals that you're speaking to are going to give you a response you're not expecting. Not many people expect a high performer to not want to become a manager. And so now you have to think on your feet as a manager and practice how you would respond to that. And there's all different conversation paths that this can follow, and the outcome of all these conversations directly impact the engagement level of your individual employees. You'll have 6 conversations throughout the 9-hour experience, this just being one of the 9. And it's definitely one that at the end the facilitator will debrief to help the participants not only share what occurred, share best practices, share perspectives, as well as understand how they naturally behave and how they can open their mind and perspectives to how to be a better manager to your employees so that you can help find what truly drives and motivates them. When it's not being a manager, how do you keep those high performers engaged and still performing to their peak level so you get the most out of them as a manager? So with that, you've experienced the full 9-hour experience of Management Challenge in 50 minutes. How you feeling? Anybody sweating yet?
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for coming today. We have pamphlets on Management Challenge. If your company would be interested, or you know of somebody else that might be interested in your company and another, we'd love for you to share with us. And we hope to be able to connect with you guys again later. We welcome your feedback, and please take a beer for the road. Thanks, guys.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. did. I recently from YouTube. People 5:30. Yeah, and I got very fortunate and found good people there. So I'm really enjoying it. They're very funny. Like what they do.
Oh, and don't forget to give us your iPads back if you borrowed them. It's
not a party gift.
It's not a party gift,
Great. No problem. I'm really glad that I finally got to see you.
I know, we've been talking about it for so long.
Yes. Couple questions. So, 9 hours total?
We can use an 8. Okay. We talked about doing it at 6. I know that's the time frame, and I think we can. But I think we do if you look at the 6 of those.
So when y'all typically run it, I know like what we do,
but we had just
like we get the six, like we have the raise or something.
Yeah,
let's talk about what that looks like. So if we ever use it on
I mean, I guess you guys know about it. Usually
you have like the profiles from it.
And maybe even like they have a couple questions. So they can start to make. And I think that would be the key word for us to believe in. Okay. It's such a good user base. That's not the hurdle.
No, I really liked it. I think that this is, I'm thinking about a couple of different opportunities that this would be good for at the company. Just this continued marriage education is a really hot button topic right now. People are really hungry to ensure that it's not just like leadership academy and then they don't get anything else. So,
Thank you.
No problem. You did a great job. So are you one of the facilitators for this program?
So where's you got both of you guys?
Get the pro pad. We actually had, I had someone email me the other day who did business challenge, not this conference, but I want to do business challenge with my whole team.
Let's do it.
And I was like, yeah, let me know. I can set it up. We like working with y'all. Well, thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you did a great job. I so appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Good to see you
Well, I think there should be like a formalized process by which that they select where you necessarily are.
I'd love to.
I'm not going to.
Y'all have fun.
Noted.
No, it looks like fun. I just have to know
No, I totally understand. You need some.
I don't think they're exposed.
That's okay, they don't need to be.
Yeah, I know Colby.
Okay, excited about that.
Colby's what I did at HT.
I would have to be. I would
All the drink sales too?
Yes. The non-alcoholic stores.
The wine sales, all the alcohol sales.
Thank you for coming and helping us out.
I like listening to this.
Good.
Yes, I was management consulting manager.
Were you?
Where'd you go?
UT.
Okay, cool.
I listened to this is fun. But where are y'all looking for?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's on the Death Star side, right?
Like if you go through the C3PO door and choose our door name, we're right there.
Right by the
So like if you walk into the right or to the left? To the left.
If you go right in that door in the back,
Oh, gotcha.
We're right next to Entrepreneurial Foundation.
Big sign looks just like. I'm rarely on the fifth floor.
Yeah.
Like I work in the VR too, but I usually just go and go right there. Then I'm like in my own way.
We're so bad. I never come up to 16.
I have been.
That's like a midday break for me.
Good for you.
Yes, yeah.
I've been going up there and eating lunch, so I've been chilling there. There's more sunlight.
I'm so pumped y'all put a walking desk on the 5th floor. I've been like waiting for it to like become open.
Yeah.
Every time I walk past someone's on it.
You always wear heels.
You can walk in.
Butt muscles.
I'm just like imagining you doing that, just like eating it. You're wearing heels and trying to work on it.
So one time I was giving a presentation to these really big wigs in my local gym, and I had these amazing shoes on, and I shit you not, I fell. In the middle of the presentation, I just drowned. And I popped back up, and I finished the presentation. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's up? Oh, thank you. And it was on video.
Hi, by the way, I love the platform. Yeah.
I saw y'all crushed it. I'm Meg, by the way. I don't think I'm Meg.
Reza.
Reza and then operator. What brought you back?
Yeah. I'm trying to give lots of lessons on leadership.
Love it.
No, actually, you're actually.
What other sessions?
Yeah.
I was there. This is not my card. It's another person's Alex, so you can get to hold with us that way. Yeah.
I just work Today was supposed to be my
Did you sign it? Here, just sign in here. Alright. I'll make a note by your name and have to figure out and think of something. I'm sure we can give you some information about it.
You know, more open area.
Whether or not it's the presentation, it might give you a better one, frankly.
You know, quite frankly, like this is like one of those things that a lot of people see like businesses need. What do you guys charge for this service?